Welcome, everyone, to the L7C podcast, College Football Edition. Today, we are going to be talking about the Ohio State Buckeyes and their game that concluded this past Saturday against Nebraska. We have the captain with us, Mr. Byron Mitchell. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good today. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. As we're recording right now, we are actually waiting for the college football playoff rankings because they're coming out. It should be coming out after the college basketball game that's going on, because typically this is what they do. First college basketball game, then they have the rankings at 9, right before the next big college basketball game on opening day. So we'll be recording, waiting for those, and hopefully they come soon.
Hopefully.
But Byron, man, let's get into the game that happened this past Saturday. We were at Nebraska, and this was a lot tougher than a lot of people anticipated, due for the reason that Nebraska does have a losing record, but Nebraska has played so many top 10 teams close. And Byron, man, let's go right into it.
Like you said, it was a strange game. Offensively, we were pretty stagnant in the first quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. The only time we really had great offense was in the second quarter. CJ Stroud ended up 36 for 54 for 405 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. This was the first time he's thrown an interception in 4 games. Travion Henderson, 21 carries, 92 yards. Master T only had 2 carries. Mayan Williams only had 1 carry. We couldn't really get our run game going, so that's why CJ Stroud had to throw 54 times. Jackson Smith and Jigba had a monster game. He had 15 receptions, 240 yards, and 1 touchdown. And then Chris Olave had 7 for 61 and a touchdown. Garrett Wilson was out this game. So that's why Smith and Jigba got the lion's share of the receiving yards. CJ Stroud also lost a fumble. Defensively, we were okay. Adrian Martinez threw 16 for 31 for 248 yards, a touchdown and interception. Torre, the receiver, had 4 receptions, 150 yards, and a touchdown. They're really tearing us up in the middle of the field on passing wise. And about had 113 rushing yards and a touchdown. But we ended up winning 26-17, which was not expected because we were a 15-point favorite. But with this game and the Penn State game, we only won by 9.
The Byron, man, what really happened? Because we were huge favorites, and again, man, it was another 9-point. This game was close all the way to the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So, what were you seeing?
I don't know what's going on with us offensively the last 2 games. I don't know if it's because Penn State and Nebraska's defense stepped up because they were playing Ohio State. But we just did not look good offensively. Like I said, the only time we looked really good offensively was the second quarter because we had 2 touchdowns and a field goal. We actually ended the first quarter scoreless. It was 0-0. At the end of the half, it was 17-10. They scored 6 in the third quarter and 3 in the fourth. So our kicker, Noah Ruggles, 4 for 4. Longest was 46 yards. So he looked really good. Without him, we probably would have ended up losing this game, but we got to get it together offensively.
Now, is it really the offense, or, is it because we're playing better defenses? Because the past 2 games, especially when we first started with Penn State, we said it's going to be the best defense we've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Nebraska, who they've played a lot, they've actually played more top 10 teams than we have. They played
That's
Michigan
true.
tough, Michigan State tough, Oklahoma tough, and us tough. So that's 4 losses against top 10 teams by less than 10 points each game. So is it the defenses, or because now we're playing tougher defenses and it's not going to get any easier down the stretch?
No, because we have Purdue this weekend, the Michigan State, and then Michigan, and we know Michigan has a top defense, so does Michigan State. And actually, Purdue is looking pretty good defensively too. Um, so it could be that we're not scheming well against their defenses.
Mhm.
That could be the problem. But you just don't want to see CJ Stroud throw for um, 50, what is it, 50, 54 times
Yeah, that's a
um,
no. That can't
in a
be
game,
happening.
especially since he had that shoulder injury earlier this year. I just, I don't want him to re-aggravate it.
Yeah, Henderson only had 21 carries for 92 yards. Like CJ Stroud should not be, like you're saying, throwing for 52 times. That should not be anything. And then Jackson Smith and Jigba, man, what a game did he have?
Yes.
Whew. 15 catches, 240, and a touchdown.
Yeah, his longest was a 75-yard one that looked amazing. Chris Olave had a great block on that scoring drive. Yeah, he had a great game. So our wide receivers stepped up without Garrett Wilson being there, especially Smith and Jigba. Um, Marvin Harrison Jr. got in there. He had only 2 catches for 25 yards, but he got some playing time.
Chris Olave did catch a touchdown, and he is, if it stays on course now, he will break the record.
Yeah, he is, I think, 3 touchdowns away from breaking the record.
So we got Purdue, Michigan State, the Big Ten championship, and hopefully the Big Ten championship, and then beyond that. So we gotta wait. He's like he can do it.
He could do it. He's a great receiver. There's I think it's been only like 2 games this year where he didn't catch a touchdown.
Yeah, and that was when people got on CJ enough for that. Speaking of CJ, people I've been seeing have been getting on because he's not running more, like like when the play breaks down, trying to run for those yardage. How do you feel about that?
I agree because I feel like those 2 interceptions probably wouldn't have happened if he just had to took off and ran.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 interceptions, he's just trying to make something work that just wasn't there. Especially with that last interception. I forget if he overthrew or underthrew the receiver, but he could have just ran for at least 4 or 5 yards and lived to see another play.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like Jason Fields' numbers, but if you're in trouble, don't try to throw it and make a play. Just run it.
I know your favorite thing also too with our kicker who has not missed a field goal all season, and your favorite thing of take the points. Like I think they should really be like, hey, we got this good field goal kicker. Let's not we don't have to go for it on 4th down.
I agree. Like if you're because we know he can at least kick it 46 yards. I think that may have been his longest this season. I'm not 100% sure. But we have a great kicker. He hasn't missed a single field goal this year. So I mean, take the points.
And as we're still waiting, no word yet on the college football playoff rankings.
No, the game just ended, so we'll probably get him soon. Yeah, his longest this season has been 46 yards, and he's 15 for 15 kicking field goals. So I trust our kicker 100%.
And Byron, we're looking the road ahead because we're waiting for the college football playoff rankings live recording. Let's talk about the next game. Purdue, who, what did we say literally last week about Michigan State getting that big win against Michigan? They could lose to Purdue next week. And what happens? They lost to Purdue
40-29.
And we don't know where Michigan State's going to drop in the college football playoff rankings. We don't know if Purdue's going to be up there. Purdue now beat Iowa when they were number 2. They beat Michigan State when they were number 3. We're up next. I don't think they can do 3, but I'm not going to underestimate them at all. We have to come full out attack, no underestimating them because they're Purdue.
Yeah, their one receiver, David Bell, had a monster game as well. 11 receptions, 217 yards, and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
he is going to be a problem because their quarterback threw for 40 for 54 yards. I mean, excuse me, 40 for 54, 536 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he can carve a defense up. So we have to apply as much pressure as we can to make him uncomfortable.
They also cannot run over there at Purdue.
That's true. The leading scorer had, well, their leading rusher had 32 yards and a touchdown. So there are more so one dimensional. So knowing that we need our pass defense to be top notch.
And then also with, we know they have one person. Like we already know, like he's up there. Dotson, like from Penn State, we knew he was the person there who also had a big game this weekend too at Penn State. But we just gotta. We don't have to play single. Let's just double team them. Let's take them out of the game.
See, you would think we would double team the number one receiver on the team, but we don't do that.
Also, too, I mean, we can't play around, man. We got 3 games left in the regular season. We cannot mess around.
Yeah, especially not against Purdue because they have known to knock off top ranked teams. They knocked us off, what was it, a couple years ago, 2018?
2018, 49-20 at Purdue, night game, ABC. They only had one person there at that time. His name was Rondell Moore.
Yes, now he plays for the Cardinals.
And we let him run wild, literally all over the field.
Yeah, so Purdue is known to play spoiler, so we have to be focused. We have to be ready. Like you said, double team, the leading receiver on their team, but which we're probably not going to do. They're a one-dimensional team, so I feel like that's an area we should focus on, but we'll see.
And then with their defense, they might try and play their best again, but just that's a tough schedule for Purdue to play Michigan State and then play Ohio State right after. But we're gonna see, man. We're still waiting for these rankings. And what are you thinking, estimate wise? I think Georgia's gonna still be number 1, but now, which I've seen this debate as well, Alabama did not look impressive against LSU. There were times where obviously Nebraska, if they could have scored, they maybe could have won. There was times where LSU, they could have won that game as well against Alabama. Are they going to still keep Alabama at 2? Or are they going to drop them a little bit to like 3 or 4?
I don't think they'll drop Bama. It's Bama. We all know. We all know before the official rankings come out that Bama was going to be second. So I don't think will drop them. If they do, I'll be surprised. But I don't think they will. Like you said, LSU had a lot of times where they could win. We were watching that game together. They had a lot of times where they fumbled, like when they were close to scoring it. But they had a chance and they just couldn't pull the trigger.
That is, it's going to be interesting because number 2 was in a close game. Number 3 lost. Oregon took care of business.
Yep.
Ohio State was in a close game. Cincinnati was in a close game.
Michigan took care of business.
And Oklahoma was off.
Yeah, the only other top 10 team that lost was Wake Forest in a shootout.
What did you think of that score?
I was not expecting them to just be scoring like that. 58-55, lost by 3 points. Man.
Officially, even though I thought ACC had no chance of getting it, that officially killed it for them.
Yeah, ACC was done. Wake Forest their last chance, and they couldn't finish the job.
It's funny how how every time we say like, all right, who's in? Who's like, oh, this is their highest rating ever. And then of course, when they get their highest rating, they lose the game.
Yeah. Sorry, Wake Forest. I was kind of hoping you guys would run the table, surprise everyone. But they only have 1 loss, though.
That is true, but it's like, are they going to take a team from the ACC when it's like...
Yeah, probably not. Especially when you lose to a unranked UNC.
Yeah, they have not been good. I did see the college football playoff show did go live. What teams will be ranked in the top 4?
My prediction for top 4: Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, Ohio State.
Okay. Would you have Cincinnati at 5 or Michigan State at 5?
Cincinnati at 5 because Michigan State lost to unranked Purdue.
Okay. Okay. I mean, this is interesting. With Purdue though, like, what are you seeing score wise? Like, how I feel like OSU now. This is going to be like, because after this we have the 2 Michigans. Like, it's high time now. Like this, and we still have to win these games to get into the Big Ten championship East. We haven't clinched it yet.
Yes, it helped that Michigan State lost. So I think we're actually number 1 in the Big Ten East now. So
Yes, we
we
are. We are.
control our destiny now. So we have to win out because if we lose to Michigan State, they'll go in because they would have a win over us in Michigan. So we definitely have to win out. Score wise, I know we are. Where are we? 20-point favorites.
Mhm.
I don't know if we'll cover 20 points. I'm gonna say
We're these big. Like, we haven't covered. I don't think the past 2 games. Yeah, we haven't.
no. So I think we were 15 to 20-point favorites against Penn State. And only ended
And
up
we did
winning by
not. We
9.
don't. No.
Yeah, I don't think we'll cover the spread. I'm gonna say 35, 25. Not 25, 28.
28-25.
No, 35, 28.
35. Okay, 35-28. Okay.
But hey, I don't know. It might be low scoring. We don't know.
I think I'm going 45-28 as we get ready for Michigan State and Kenneth Walker. Because these next 2 weeks, this is it, man. Like, we can't take any games for granted.
Nope. Well, 1 game season every week. Got to win out. Got to do the job. Got to look impressive. Yeah, 3 big games left of the season.
All right, they're going through the rankings right now. Arkansas is 25, Utah 24, UTSA 23, San Diego State 22, Pittsburgh 21.
Okay. Purdue maybe might get in there in the 20s.
I think Purdue should be like 19.
19.
But every time Purdue gets ranked, they get smoked the following week. They
That's
only
true.
beat teams when they're unranked.
That is true because they beat Iowa and were 25 the next week and then lost to Purdue 19.
19, caught it, baby.
Iowa 20, Wisconsin 18, Auburn dropped to 17.
They love keeping Auburn in the tops.
NC State at 16.
Oh, we got the whole Big Ten West is 18 through 20.
Yep.
Wisconsin, they just came out of nowhere, man. Like, they were terrible at the beginning of the year.
Is Minnesota going to be in the top 15?
No, they lost to Illinois, remember?
They did lose to Illinois.
Mhm.
Illinois, I'd love to take out top-ranked teams too.
Yeah, they've been messing people up as well. All right, guys, let's go. North Carolina State 16. I feel like they just keep Auburn just to keep Auburn. I really don't understand.
Ole Miss 15, BYU 14, Baylor 13, Wake Forest at 12, Texas A&M at 11.
So here's my question. So why is Auburn 18, but Penn State's not ranked?
Because Penn State. Hasn't Penn State been on a 3-game losing streak?
They were, but they have the same amount of losses. And Auburn, and they said head-to-head matters. Penn State beat Auburn head-to-head at night in Happy Valley.
That's true.
Same amount of losses, same head-to-head. Has Auburn really lost to that much better teams than Penn State? They lost to a number 2 Iowa at the time. They lost to Ohio State. Now, the bad game against Illinois, the 9 overtimes, but
Yeah, the 9 overtimes didn't help because it dropped them to.
in Texas A&M, we just went from being trash at the beginning to now they're 11. So it makes Alabama's loss better.
Yeah.
Is this what we're doing here?
Oklahoma State at 10.
Okay.
I'm going to do these one at a time.
Oh my gosh, people.
Got to build suspense. Bring up an interesting point about Penn State.
It's crazy because they're going to be unranked.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they don't really have the only quality one they have is they did beat Wisconsin and Auburn earlier in the year, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that 3 losses to Iowa, Illinois, and us.
They're going to drag this.
Notre Dame at 9, which makes that Cincinnati win look even better now.
Yeah, they went up. They went up one spot to 10. I mean, from 10. Man, they brought every. Side note here, just keeping up for another podcast. Me and Byron will be doing in a couple of weeks. Our DC, and I'm over here watching the Supergirl finale, and I'm just seeing they're bringing everyone on this episode.
Oh, I can't wait to watch it.
Part 2. Like now, she's talking to Kat Grant.
Oh, haven't seen her since last season or the season before that. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma's still at 8.
Okay, so they didn't move, which I think that's fair because they were on bye.
Right, and they have a game against Baylor this weekend.
That's big. That's 12 o'clock this Saturday. That is a big one. I think Michigan State will be here at 7.
Oh, I think they're taking a commercial break.
Oh, come on, people.
Yep, they're taking a commercial break. Then we're going to reveal the top 17.
So I think it's going to be Michigan State
at 7.
And then Michigan at 6.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati 5. OSU 4. Oregon 3. Alabama 2. Georgia 1.
I can see that. Well, yeah, since we're waiting, we'll preview the games this week, the big games this weekend. Of course,
Baylor and Oklahoma.
Yep, where we have Purdue, Ohio State. So 19 versus potentially number 5. Mm-hmm. Alabama has a cake game against New Mexico State.
Oh, Georgia's number 1.
Oh, okay, they're doing it. Georgia number 1.
Or is this the old? No,
this is live. I'm watching it right now. They have Georgia at 9. Me and Georgia at 1.
Oh, all right, I'm watching it on the phone, so we've got the little delay since streaming. All right, so who we gonna put in number 2?
Alabama.
Alabama stays at 2.
I called it.
We knew it. We called it, but that's not the same. I mean,
Oregon at 3.
All right, so we're 3-0. We're 3-0 right now. And then we said OSU at 4.
Mm-hmm. OSU at 4.
All right, we've been 4 for 4 right now in the top 4. Man, right now we played Georgia. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Cincinnati should be 5.
They should.
Or are they going to put Michigan 5 and leave Cincinnati at 6? That'd be. I just said it. Now it's going to freaking happen.
Cincinnati at 5.
Okay. Cincinnati 5, Michigan 6, Michigan State 7. That should be it. Let's just make to confirm.
Yeah, really dragging us out.
I know, it's just the Michigan teams. It's not like they dropped Michigan out of the top 25.
Right.
Michigan State.
Michigan at 6. So, yep, Michigan State will be
at 7. All right, and then Michigan State at 7. 3 Big Ten East teams. Oh, so wait, confirmation. 3 Big Ten East teams in the
Michigan
top
State at 7.
Okay. Now Michigan State. I don't know who they're playing this Saturday.
Maryland.
Don't mess up again. Let's not have a Penn State incident where you ruined a top 5 matchup or a top 10 matchup. All right, Byron, what do you think of those rankings?
I agree with those rankings.
I agree. I think Penn State's a little. I mean, Alabama. I was just like, I think they should have been a 3. Just saying. They struggled against the LSU.
That's true.
At Alabama.
Yeah.
And Oregon took care of business. Just flip-flop them. Alabama don't got to be 2.
They don't. If Alabama was, they'll still play each other. But I would agree. Flip-flop Alabama and Oregon.
Yeah, just flip-flop them this week. You got to send a message.
They are afraid to.
Makes no sense, but Byron, man, anything else before we close shop on this? We got to take care of business with Purdue. We got to be keeping our eyes out on Oklahoma, Baylor, because if Oklahoma wins, they're going to jump some teams.
They are going to jump some teams, specifically probably Cincinnati.
If they jump Cincinnati, that means they're jumping Michigan State.
Yeah. Well, Michigan has to take care of business against Penn State, which I don't see Michigan losing that game, but you never know.
in Michigan.
You never know with Michigan, so I'll probably keep an eye on that game. Oklahoma Baylor, another good game to watch. Mississippi State Auburn, another good game to watch. Probably the three biggest games. Actually, Minnesota Iowa, because I think Minnesota is number 2 in the Big Ten West. Yeah, Minnesota is number 2 in the Big Ten West, with Wisconsin being number 1.
That West is a mess.
Yes.
Literally 2 weeks ago, Iowa had it in the back, and then they just collapsed.
Yeah. So Iowa could win their next 2 games and play Wisconsin. That will be the determinant who comes out of the West. So I'm gonna watch that Minnesota game. Keep an eye on that Minnesota game, because if they lose, then I think Wisconsin probably will come out of the Big Ten West again.
Any other things, Byron, before we close shop on this one?
I don't have anything else.
All I would say is Buckeyes, act accordingly this week. Gotta be serious. We have history of Purdue taking us to the wire, Purdue beating us. So let's take care of business and establish dominance early. Get this over by halftime.
Yeah, I said we would have Nebraska finish by halftime, and that didn't happen. So I'm not going to say that this week. Take care of business, Ohio State.
Okay. With that being said, this is the L7C podcast signing out.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.